I'd like to call the City of Richmond regular City Council meeting to order, October 1st, 2014 at 6:30. First call of business, I'd like to everybody rise to the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to welcome everybody to the meeting tonight and all the folks at home. Will be watching us on TV later. Next thing will be the approval of the agenda. Marty, we have any?
If we could add item 8G, discussion on setting the date for canvassing the 2014 elections, 8G.
Okay.
No other additions, I make a motion to approve the agenda for this evening.
Second.
All approved? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Nays? Approved. For a approval of the minutes of the meetings from September 3rd, September 17th, and September 18th. Do I hear a motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Approved. Next, we have up the approval of the bills paid.
Clarification. Check number 016460, Yarmouth Ford. I believe I mentioned that to Marty about it. It says 2 oil changes. My clarification that I got from our city administrator was that we have sent 2 vehicles to Yarmouth Ford, one being in warranty, one being out of warranty. With that, we do have oil stations in town that would take care of this business. I believe we should honor that, and whoever had ordered this probably should be reminded of that.
The first truck is still under warranty and it has a special
Right.
oil that's not here. The second truck, I didn't get an answer why, maybe Jim knows.
Second truck, they gave us the half price of what a normal oil change would cost, because it's a city-owned vehicle.
Well, I still think that we should keep our business in town, sponsoring and seeing if they can swing a deal. The way this looks to me is we have to drive somebody to Paynesville, where they used to, the people in town here used to come and pick up the truck, not tying up any of our labor, and would bring it back here.
Firemen took it down there with volunteer time, so.
All of it was volunteer time?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have just one other question. On Lions Park for the O'Malley Corona Land Survey, what was that for?
What they surveyed Teens Lake, they surveyed the north border, well, they surveyed the property stakes. If you recall, there was an issue on the northeast corner of Lyons.
Okay, I was wondering why Teens Lake was being...
Yeah, it's actually, that's what it was.
I understand that, but didn't we sit down with the adjacent property owners and try to split the bill?
No, it was our bill. We're the one that asked for the survey.
Because $1,370 is a lot of money that could possibly been, because they would, I'm sure, would like to know where their property lines are too.
Lyons ordered the survey and they're gonna pay for it.
Okay. Clarification of number 4300, general maintenance. Invoice number 14483, general rental service, Bobcat auger. I thought we had that.
We don't have an auger.
We don't have an auger, we have the other attachments.
We have
We got forks, we got shovels, we got sweepers, we got everything, but we don't have an auger. Okay. Where was that used, do you know?
The wall by the cold storage.
Okay. I have to compliment Marty on page 1 of the detail page on parks. I asked for, and this is receiving, the contributions for our music in the park versus our expenses for music in the park and our Oktoberfest, and I thank you very much for that, Marty. The only thing is, it's quite alarming that our expenses for music in the park was $4,350 and our donation is only $1,400, meaning that roughly just a hair under $3,000 was not recouped in any manner.
Does that include the Oktoberfest?
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think the program was designed to break even, just for the record.
Well, I feel if we're gonna continue to do this, we're going to have to go out and get more contributions, because $3,000 could be probably used in different areas. And clarification, one more thing, and then I'll be done. It says that the income from Oktoberfest was $628 of Oktoberfest gate and glasses. And, explanation, gate $5 a person, so there's 110 people there?
I was told short of 200, so whatever that comes out to, if you divide 5 into that amount.
That would be 150,
Yeah.
but it says glasses now.
I don't know if any glasses were sold, I have not clarified that.
Yes, they were. I don't know the numbers,
I don't
but
know the
they were
numbers.
sold. They were sold.
And they were sold for how much, does anyone know?
They were sold for $5 a piece.
So that brought the entrance down.
Yeah.
Let's say 20 were sold, that'd be $100, so that means only 100 people that were there. Okay?
Well, like I said, we gotta, Mike's not here and he's part of that park board, and I would like to have that, because Kevin's not here as well. And I think any further discussion, we just need to make sure we have it done with them.
Well, the question is about the bills.
Yeah, that's what I said, they'll know more.
The question about if the program continues would be on full council at a different time.
Yeah. So. Any other questions?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
All in favor? Aye. Nays? Approved. Next is the consent agenda. We're going to do this all in one motion here. Resolution 180-14, the approval of the September 2014 journal entries. Resolution 181-14, approval of tax exempt gambling permit up to Knights of Columbus and St. Peter and Paul's Parish Center on November 22nd, 2014. And Resolution 182-14, the approval of a 1 to 4 day temporary liquor license at St. Peter and Paul Church at St. Peter and Paul School on November 22nd, 2014. Do I hear a motion?
I make a motion to approve them as presented.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Passed. Approved. Next, we have departments.
Chuck won't be here tonight.
Chuck will not be here
So in
tonight.
front of you is the written report, you wanna review it. If you wanna summarize it for the public, you can, but it's not necessary.
I can do a quick summary here. The number of calls for September rescues and medicals, they had 3. They had 1 fire. That was a mutual aid call for a barn fire. So the total for the month of September was 4. They would like to thank everyone for attending the German dinner in September. They had a very good crowd. We hoped everyone enjoyed it. It was nice to see everyone that comes for our fundraisers like this to support the department enjoy themselves. For training, they went through and did some pre-planning, went to the church and covered pre-planning at the facilities, covered training for the elevator and other items over there. We had covered some of this during the construction of the additions. This is something to do throughout the year with various places. Attending the parades at Watkins and Cold Spring for St. Boniface, also attended the homecoming parade at Cold Spring. And that is the report from our Fire Chief Chuck Merton. Next up is number 6B, we have a 2018 street project.
Mr. Mayor and Council, as all of you are aware, I think it's on the agenda so that we could talk about it on camera, so the public is aware that we're looking ahead at our next street project, which is hopefully in 2018. On Wednesday the 17th, the council took a tour of the city streets and was presented various options by the city engineer and public works director. If any of you have any comments, I would say that we're looking at another possibly $1 million project. And so we need to start thinking about funding. And we only our assessment policy is 20%. So that's gonna be 800,000 for the city.
That would be,
This is just for street overlays and there was no sewers.
Yeah, there's 5 blocks of replacing water sewer.
water sewer.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
Just
mill and
for
overlay is about 30,000. A couple of blocks, it's gonna be recommended that curb and gutter go in, that'll add another 20,000, so it's about 50,000 for mill and overlay and curb and gutter. And then if you do water and sewer, that's about 100,000 per block. Go ahead.
Have we had any plan on making curb and gutter mandatory in the city or not? I mean, there's been some mention of it in certain areas of town, but not all of them. I mean, like the new project we just got done finishing, some of it got curb and gutter, some didn't get curb and gutter. I mean, people ask and it's kind of like it's a kind of a no man's answer of
Hodgepodge.
some places it happens, some places it don't.
It's been the history, to my knowledge, and Pat maybe can do a better job than I can. You pick and choose where you're gonna put it. I mean, the city of Richmond sits on sandy soil, so it's not felt it's extremely necessary because the water does seep away rather rapidly. However, when people park off the end of it, you're breaking up the street that way. I mean, the curb and gutter help people from parking on the side of it. But you got that added expense. We did the 2008, 2009 Central South Side project, and we didn't put curb and gutter in there. Northwest, the Wolf's Edition has no curb and gutter, but I think I can come up with this. Oh, darn it. What's the one south of it, Pat? Not Inheritance.
Heritage Square.
Heritage Square Edition does have curb and gutter.
And the reason for that is the developer at that time, which was a relative, decided to do that on her own and put the expense into the lot, but also paid for the storm drains, which goes along with it. And that's the curb and gutter is the simple part, is just putting the ridge on.
Yeah.
But what are you going to do with the water that sits in the street? You have to have a place for that. And as you mentioned before, that Richmond is quite sandy and quite flat. And to get rid of this, to have drainage ponds or the proper size piping, for many years it was in town, if sidewalk and curb and gutter was on request of the landowner only, and they had to have a full block agree upon it before it went in. And that was done throughout the city. Now, making it mandatory when there was just a development in 2010 done, your Southside project, and you did not make that mandatory on the south of Highway 23, but you did on the north part of 23, can get probably a very hot meeting.
Yeah, that South Side project I know is extremely expensive. I mean, the assessments on those property owners was really high, and I know that the city did not want to add any more burden.
Right.
I wish we could have put curb and gutter in.
But also, I think, didn't the engineer also reported that the drainage and stuff wasn't a problem? I
Oh,
think
sure.
and that's what we're trying to consider, especially with some of these streets that we have here, some of the drainage problems that we do have, and a curb could definitely improve a lot of that and help a lot of the standing water that we have.
Well, all of you saw too that some of these streets are drivable surfaces, 20 feet wide on one block, 40 on the other, and 30 on the other. It's gotta be a nightmare plowing that. So again, with winter coming up, it'd be nice if council would remind the public, please flag your
Driveways and your edge your lawns on the streets that don't have curb and gutter.
I'm glad I'm not the plow driver. So that was the purpose to having that on there. I mean, I have a feeling you're gonna have a very in-depth discussion about curb, gutters, storm sewer, where and when and how.
Is there a chance to have a map out in the entryway for if somebody wants to see if their street in front of their house is part of the map as of right now? It might change, but just so people have an idea if their house is involved in this or not.
That's a good idea.
That'd be a good idea, Jim.
It's a few years out, but I mean, at least they'd have an idea if
That's
it's.
an idea.
I think it's a great idea, but everything that would be on that map would be tentative.
Tentative.
He's saying that it would get done, it is up for some type of improvement.
Yeah. But I mean, for the folks that are there, the ones that are on there, and if it doesn't happen, at least they get a plan and they can look ahead as well for their future, what they want to do with it as well, so. Okay. Anything else on 2018 projects?
No, sir.
Any other questions? Anyone in the audience got any questions? Okay. Next, we got some council reports, EDA. The next meeting I see is October 9th, 2014, the maintenance building. So, but Pat, I guess you're...
Nothing, we haven't had a meeting since last meeting.
you haven't.
That's because of representatives being out of town.
Okay.
So that's the closest meeting that's gonna be, and it's gonna be in a week, so.
That'll be next week then.
Correct.
Okay. Planning Commission, I see your next meeting is October 30th. So.
We had a meeting last week and we pretty much updated the maps and stuff and gonna get the colors all right. And we're gonna have a public hearing on that on the 30th at 6 o'clock here at City Hall. And that was basically about it, so.
Okay.
The public hearings regards of just what's
Updating
there,
maps.
nothing new or
Just the
anything else.
It's just updating the color of the maps of what is zoned and rezoned to specific areas, some of them that wasn't clarified years ago. It's just everything gonna be squared away.
Next, we have Tri-City Cable.
We are having a meeting next week on the 8th
On the 8th. Okay.
at 5 o'clock.
Wraith and 5 o'clock, and at where?
This high school. I'm not sure which room. It's usually in the library, but
Okay.
all depends on what's going on at the school.
Okay. And the Recording Trail meeting is tomorrow at 9 a.m. at Rockville, so we'll kind of go over some of that. I know, just trying to figure out some more of the paperwork that needs to be done, more than anything else, and see where we're gonna go.
Grant
We have some grant applications that we need to finish up that need to be done. I think that's pretty much what I think tomorrow's gonna be, more than anything else like that. And, we had some also discussions, and I know we're gonna talk again about the, some of those cracks and stuff for the future stuff, so everybody's kind of aware of that, so. They're gonna still keep talking about that one crack that they had, so I know we've got some other reports back from other trails in other parts of the state too, that, it's not uncommon to have that, so. But anyway, that'll be brought up tomorrow, so I'll have a report for you next meeting. Number E, we have under council reports, we had the 5th Monday group social that was held Monday at,
River Station.
Jerry's Firehouse Grill.
Thank you.
And I think all the attendance was folks from Rockville and Cold Spring and Richmond, so I believe you were there, Marty?
Pat, you have to report on it, go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, if you want to report, basically it was very informal, but actually informative. By the time we got done, Marty did a fantastic job of heading it up, keeping the meeting going. We had representatives from the police department, sheriff's department, Stearns County commissioner, a House representative was there. Different things that were discussed. It was kind of interesting to find out that the school board can now raise their levy by themselves to a certain point for a few years without a referendum vote of the people. That was news to me, along with a few other things that were discussed. Very, very informal, but I definitely took a lot of things away that could possibly help the city here to find out what's going on. There was a lot of, I shouldn't say, there was concern about one or two individuals construing different legal forums or legal interviews and putting them all over YouTube and things like this. So be careful if you get interviewed on any type of phone conversation. Be prepared that it could be misconstrued out there. Not Commissioner, Representative Howell gave a report on some of the Wi-Fi and broadband type of problems that are out there, and that there's some grants available for people if they want to invest in towers to make sure that the rural community could be, what would you say, supported properly rather than just hits and misses and dead zones and things like this. And I believe you said 20 million, was it, or was it 200 million? It was a good chunk of change. If anybody wants to look into it, get a hold of Jeff. I mean, he was pretty hot and heavy on that. Made sure that was going to be used somewhere in the area to help the education of both college and high school and grade school kids that can't have the, can't get onto it at the present time, so. Good meal, well done, thank you very much, Marty.
Welcome.
Okay, now number 8, we're gonna have requests for some council actions. First, we had November 5th meeting, has been moved to,
The discussion is to move it from the 5th to the 12th.
Yep.
I'll open it up for discussion. I can tell you that Mayor Mathiasen cannot be here on the 5th. He was hoping to have it on the 12th. However, I believe 2 of you for sure are gonna be gone on the 12th.
yes, that is deer week, it's unfortunate.
The 12th is what date?
That's the deer week.
I mean, what?
Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday, so I'll be back on that, then that's not a problem for me, being here on the 12th, but it's up to you folks, whatever.
So, Jim, you would be here on the 12th, and Mike would be here, that's 3. That means that we can canvass those elections then on
the
Wednesday the
12th.
12th, and have our regular meeting. Is that okay with you, Brad, as far as camera work?
It's just the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the Friday before hunting, I'll be gone.
Well, then, with your permission, Mr. Merritt, we could scratch item 8G and include
Right.
that in this discussion, and
Scratch that.
have both the canvassing and the regular meeting on the 12th.
On the 12th, we'll leave it there then, move that up.
Do you need a resolution on that?
A motion would be fine.
Motion.
Make a motion to move the November 5th, 2014 meeting to November 12th, 2014.
And include the canvassing of the elections.
And have the canvassing on the agenda.
I won't be here.
And still vote.
But I'll
I
say
won't be
yes.
here either, so there'll be 3 of you, so. All in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Passed. Council 2015 Budget Workshop, October 30th at 6:30.
That was on the agenda for discussion, being that so many are come and gone, we're not able to have the workshop on our normal 14th of October, can't have it on the 23rd, the next one will be the 30th. If you don't want to have it, we probably can get by without it and do it, our last workshop to review the budget on November, is that a Thursday? 21st, 20th.
It's a Wednesday.
Is that a Thursday?
Yep.
Yeah, I won't be available.
So if you want to, let's just, no action required, we can just not have it.
Was there a reason why they wouldn't have it at the 16th?
I believe Marty can't be here, is it?
I'm gone.
Oh,
You're
okay.
gone. Okay, and the 23rd,
I think Mike's gone.
okay.
And-
So do we want to leave the 30th open in case we need to then?
The thing is, the 30th, Jeff and Mike are gonna be here already as planning commission, because you have your, they have their
Right.
Yeah.
meeting at 6, so
So
the 2 of
that-
them are gonna be here.
They're gonna be here anyway, so I think, wouldn't that be a good idea to have it the 30th then?
It's just a budget workshop, it's just, I mean, it's,
It's a good time to have it done then, for all gonna be here, and them 2 are gonna be there, so.
I mean,
I won't be here.
if Pat's
Okay.
gone, that's, I mean,
But we'll have enough for a quorum anyway, then we can,
Thursday before.
You can leave it open, decide on November 12th if you wanted to. There isn't any
but I
action.
think it's a good idea, since Mike and Jeff are both here anyway, it'd be a good chance we,
Right.
cause you'll be around, Jim?
yep.
Okay.
But we'll probably start the meeting a little bit later because the public, planning commission meeting usually runs an hour.
Yeah, that's fine.
So kind of tend to leave it open, I think that's a good possibility we'll end up doing it then.
But you guys are more than welcome to come to the planning commission meeting.
We'd love to see your smiling
Yeah,
face.
I'm just a week ahead of myself, I'll be around the 30th. That's-
On the 30th you will?
Yeah.
Okay.
The following week is the night before.
Yeah.
Yeah, so-
Okay,
That deer hunting's a big thing.
that's the livelihood here in this state.
So that's gonna be our regular council meeting, our workshop meeting then?
October 30th, yeah.
So leave it the way it is, and then if something comes up, he can address it, but right now we'll do it. And that's the time, like I said, if we at 6 o'clock, we're also gonna have that planning meeting, so maybe it's possible if we all can, anybody can get here, we can sit
So in other
in.
words, our 16th workshop is moved to the 30th.
The 16th is moved to the 30th.
Just making sure, clarification that,
Yep.
that we show up on the 16th.
You're knocking on the door and nobody's there?
Yeah. Do we want that in motion, or are we?
No, that's okay.
Okay.
Making sure.
Next, resolution 18314, the approval of the River Lakes Arena seasonal employees for 2014 and 2015.
I just have a question on that. How do you come up with their per hour wages? Is that based off of something every?
The new one's minimum wage is $8 starting January 1st, so we just thought we'd start them out there right away in this season. Your regular seasonals got a 2.1% bump. We're talking 18% or 18 cents on the one and 20 cents on the other.
Well, I just think the numbers are all different. I was just kinda curious how they got there.
But that's that format that we have in the state.
And the initials behind their name mean season 1, season 3, season what?
Yeah, I didn't pay much attention to that, Pat, I don't know. That's something
G1, G4.
That's something that Kevin keeps track of. I think that's their hierarchy.
The only question I have with this is, will the part-time jobs advertised as part-time jobs to the general public?
No, he gets them to the high school. He advertises at the high school.
At the high school only, not the general?
Well, some of these are repeats, so I mean,
And some of these are
All
repeats.
but 2 are repeats. Well, Paul is old,
Right.
but new.
Right.
and Joni.
He has worked here before. but he's
Yeah.
coming back.
Right.
And a lot of them, that's working the Zambonis and stuff like that. You gotta have somebody that knows what they're doing on that one,
I'll
yeah.
make that motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Right.
Nays? Approved. D, the mandatory sewer hookup per city code 24-49. We got a public forum on November 12th at 2014.
On Sunday?
That's a Wednesday.
We just made.
That's, we just noticed to stay on that,
Normal, that's a normal night.
Okay.
Yep.
I was on the wrong calendar.
Yep.
So that's just for information.
So that's information we got on that, so that's it's gonna stay where it's at, and that'll be on meetings, and so we'll be able to kill 3 birds with one stone on that one, right? So. And then included in that will be the private wells, the domestic use, the public hearing as well on that meeting as well.
So the first one's only a public forum or a public hearing?
Public forum.
Public forum.
Public hearing isn't required.
Okay, well, the second one you said public hearing, so there's
Yep,
no
the
difference.
water is public hearing.
Okay.
And then, next we have the purchases, requisitions of allocations and transfers. Do we have anything else
I do
that?
not have any, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. And closing out, do we have any other matters of concerns, related matters?
Just one item I would just like to bring up, that whoever, I think it's the Chamber of Commerce, whoever decorated a few of the posts on Main Street, it looks very seasonal and puts a little bit of, what did you say, pizzazz to our newly directed Main Street from last year.
Be Patty Landberg.
So just like to thank whoever did that. Keep up the continuous ideas. Along with that is, do we have, at the last meeting, we talked about our seasonal kickoff. Some people call it block party, some people call it seasonal kickoff. Have we ever reported that?
Moving forward, planning is still moving forward. Whatever, I now don't remember the date I gave you. It's on the first Thursday of December.
Somebody asked me, didn't we do it on the 5th last year, on a Friday?
Yeah.
And that's why I had some people ask, why we have it on a Friday again?
Right.
Because I
Some
wanted to
of the-
move it to Thursday because I can participate more and we get a different crowd in. Your Friday and Saturday night crowds come in anyway. And so the idea was, let's put it on a Thursday night and give people an excuse to come into town.
An extra day.
No, I'm just asking, people have had some ask about that and they heard that.
My question also, that was that, because a lot of people.
You
had
get
commented
final
on that.
say on all of this, by the way. I may think I have say, but I don't.
Okay. You have opinion.
I have an opinion. Can I keep going?
Do you have a say on the weather?
No. On that line, CNC President Patty Platenberg did inform me that it's her intent, with your blessing, to replace the 4 or 5 other Christmas decorations that are not on Main Street, like one by City Hall here, and then I don't even remember the
I
other.
think there's some in Granton Central.
Yeah.
Are they gonna be the snowflake
Yep.
type thing rather than?
She's thinking of
candle
getting the
or-
smaller
The
one.
smaller version?
But, I don't know, I thought, either way, it's fine, but she's looking at the smaller one for the city streets rather than the county or state highway. She also asked if we could put lights on the light poles on Central Avenue. What checking I've done so far, it doesn't look very promising. They're fiberglass poles, and there's no power to them now other than for the street light itself. So there's concern that they may not be able to handle it.
The pole possibly has to have an outlet halfway up or 3/4 of the way up. The power, I'm sure, is not a problem.
No, but what about the weight of a light on a fiberglass pole?
I would think,
The question's there for Randy, and I have not heard that.
Right. I guess my question is why would they put fiberglass when we put metal everywhere else anyway, so.
Again, that project was really expensive, Pat, and my guess is this council was trying to be as conservative as possible with assessments on that project.
Fiberglass is pretty sturdy stuff though, a lot more than you think.
Are you okay if the word comes back from the city engineer, if Patty wants to put lights on it? And
Well, I'm sure there has to be an adapter drilled into it and everything else or taken down, so I'd like to see the cost before,
Sure.
you know. If it's gonna be $50 a pole and there's only 4 poles, that's not a problem, but if it's gonna be $5,000 a pole, now we got a problem.
we paid for them on those other, how many poles on Main Street? You authorized it, wasn't it about $250 a piece?
Yeah, something like that. Let's see the price first.
But I- what I'm
Granted,
saying,
we're
you put
coming
very
down
good
to the
on
holiday
some.
season, but it probably should have been looked at earlier too.
Okay.
Jimmy, got another question?
Do we have any projects in town that are still pending as far as, I know there's a couple people out in Wolf's Edition that have water shut-offs that they've been calling about.
We
They're
just
asking-
got an estimate today, a nice bid, a nice quote, and so I authorized Chad to keep moving forward, get them done. We have, the property owner on, what's your address?
465 Main, East Main.
465 Main Street East has a curb box that has to be replaced, and the arrangement with that property owner is once we dig it up, if the break is on the property owner's side of the curb box, he's gotta stand that cost. If it's our curb box or towards the main, then it's the city's responsibility. And we want him to be there when we dig the hole so that everybody's satisfied with what we find.
So we had 2 of these?
Well, I know there's one out in, can't remember the street.
The Wolf's Edition.
It's Wolf's Edition. I know he's called a few times because he's talked to me a couple times and I don't want to say his name, so.
That's fine.
I know it's out there. I know he's called a couple times because when he had water issues, he had to have actually the whole block turned off so he could change out his water heater.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't shut the water off to the house.
It's been an issue with the contractors. Trying
It's
to
been
get-
extremely
Big
difficult.
issue. I mean,
They're
Well,
busy.
the season's coming where you ain't gonna be digging too much more, so it'd be nice to at least try to.
well, it's been pushed as much as we can to try to
The
find
last
something.
option is we were gonna rent a backhoe and I was gonna have Gordy dig it.
Yeah.
He was extremely reluctant, but he would have done it, and so we just got a bid in that we don't have to go down that road.
But I know the Gopher one's been out and spraying and making sure everything's ready to go, so they've been spray painted to know where the lines and everything are ready to go, so it's, like I said, from
Just
what
wanna
I've
make
heard.
sure it's in the works.
It's in the
that we
works.
get done.
We have another issue on 2013 Main Street. I desperately want to get that project closed this year, but we did crush, it would appear that we may have crushed a sewer line to the bowling alley when they put the fire hydrant in. So the camera work has been done, it's been sent to the county engineer, and he is now in the process of working with the county engineer and the contractor, because that was a combined project.
Yep.
Nothing happens fast. It's gotta go through the county engineer, through him to the contractor, so we're working it. And we wanna get that bowling alley up and running. He's in his bowling season. And so, we're working on it.
I believe that's the last item on your Main Street project. That was one of the
I think
last
so.
checklists.
I
We
think
haven't had
so.
anything else come in that's been,
Not that I'm aware of. You know, there was discussion during this project by the People's Service, I don't recall it, but apparently that he requested if we shouldn't have cambered the Main Street lines after the work was done, just to make sure we didn't have a problem. We would have caught that. But it was an expense we chose not to incur. It's not done all the time, apparently. But,
you had a whole line from Main Street up to First Street that was full of sand
yeah.
after the project was done.
Yeah, I don't know why that would be. I mean, that runs north to south, right? That had nothing to do with Main Street project.
But that would have been one of your things you would have found doing the cameraing, would have found that was full of sand.
If they would've went that way, rather than just the Main Street project.
So.
Other questions about the 2013 Main Street project. Have you received any complaints from any homeowners on restoration of properties, grass?
Nothing recently.
Okay. I've had one that brought it to my attention 2 or 3 times. I told him, bring in the bills and we'll see the engineer about it, because he said it was not restored to the original content.
I've heard that.
So, but I haven't seen anything. If we haven't seen anything, we can't act on anything.
The engineer has addressed it and said it was restored.
Okay.
If you want, I can look into it some more.
No, we'll let the landowner bring it to our attention. I mean, if, then I would say we'll look at it, but if they don't, if it's just gonna hit a person on the street, well, I'm sorry. Take the next step, bring it to the city here, and we'll act on it.
He should give me a call. I have not received a call.
Okay.
That was number 9 you were working on? Yep.
That was number 9.
So I have nothing.
Anything else from anybody else? I just want to say, I was out to the Oktoberfest that we had down here, and it seemed like everybody that was there had a really good time. I know the clubs all mentioned, American Legion was there, the Christian Women's Association, I believe it was, that they was there, the ice skating club, soccer clubs, German club from the schools. They all thanked us. They said they'd all like to come back. You know, if we have another one, they liked it. They thanked everybody. They were well pleased with what happened. So I just want to pass that on from all the vendors that were at the Oktoberfest that we had. So, and I thank everybody for all their hard work that was out there to do that. So we thank you very much for that as well.
And that's I've heard a lot of people say they wish it was downtown again.
Yeah.
It will be changed next year. Recommended to the council. We won't be in competition with the fire department again.
With the fall coming and everything else, are the hours for the refuge area going to stay the same, or for the
What
leaves?
did Gordy report? It'll close November 1st?
Usually it was December 1st last year.
I'd have to look at the minutes.
If I remember right, it was December 1st,
so
was
that
it?
we publish that people know that if it gets
It's on the
closed.
website.
It was more when the season basically ended.
Right.
December 1st or first snow.
Pretty much.
That's what it's always been.
Yeah. Because I know Tammy's also always put it in the paper and kind of kept everybody informed, so I'll take a peek at it in the paper as well. She'll keep you informed, and when that, if she hears any word, she can keep that in the paper as well. If I don't have anything else, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Adjourn.